What's up everyone, it's Shaker here, back with another Film Gob live stream, live special. Yeah, we've got some Avengers Endgame reviews coming out. Don't say, all you MCU fans, don't say I never do anything nice for you, because I've got, just going to check out what they're saying about. Yeah, I know social media reactions came out, some really bizarre social media reactions, but we're going to check out the reviews. They come out in about half an hour, but we'll do a Q&A. We're also celebrating hitting 20k subscribers, so it's kind of a half celebration and half review reaction to the Avengers reviews. We've got here Suki97, Clorox, Hamid. So we'll wait a while and everyone should come in. Let's see. There might be some people spoiling it in the comments, but but you don't know if they're spoilers or not, because they might be trolling you. Hamid says, I am more hyped for Christopher Nolan's new movie. Thank you, Akash. Hello, Yair Mendoza. Everyone's fear is that Brie Larson is going to ruin the film. So if you look at Metacritic, Metacritic has always had these. They're very kind of selective on the critics. They use a small amount of the same critics who post their reviews on Rotten Tomatoes for some reason. And if you look at their scores for Avengers films, it's usually in around about 69-70%, which is a bit strange. I think that's a bit more accurate compared to the 80s and 90s that Avengers movies usually get. Yes, the embargo ends in 30 minutes. So I saw the video from SC Reviews talking about, he was reading the reactions on the Collider website, and of course Collider are going to cherry pick the reviews, the reactions from the critics. And John Paul, if you want to post spoilers, well, I wouldn't say post spoilers, because there's going to be people jumping into the chat who don't want to know the spoilers. So I would advise not to, but I can't stop you. So yeah, Collider were posting reactions from critics, and there were some really dumb ones, like I think it was Kyle Buchanan who said Chris Evans, he mentioned on the red carpet premiere, I think, that Chris Evans, he cried about 6 times, right? He said, I've seen the movie now, I cried about 6 times. And then you've got Peter Scheretta, or I like to call him Peter Shelletta, right, Shell. He's like, yeah, I cried about 5-6 times too. These people, they'll say anything to be on the good side of the mouse. Peter Scheretta, scumbag. Mr. JC, saw your video of the Snyder Cut on comicbook.com. They're using my video there. Interesting. Hello, DC versus Marvel podcast. Thank you. You can call in if you like. You can call in on Skype. Hello JD, hello Ray. So yeah, we hit 20k. It's pretty cool. Didn't think we would ever hit 20k, but it's already happened. I'm gonna try and bring up Ash is out because you're all dropping spoilers. Don't look at the chat then. Just look at me. Focus on me. So it looks like Ben Affleck is making a film for Universal. A World War II film. And it's not a Warner Brothers, it's at Universal. Interesting. Yes, Yudi, I saw the Gemini Man trailer is out. Will Smith fighting Will Smith. Special effects look, it's kind of strange. It's going to be that 120 frames IMAX thing. It has this kind of very televised kind of look to it. So I'm not sure, but I like the idea. It's Ang Lee directed it and Will Smith starring in it, so could be good. And I've got, of course, Bad Boys 3 has wrapped filming. So it's finally happened. Mr. J is asking, will you watch Godzilla? Yes, of course. Hello, Mr. Everett is in here. Congratulations. Thank you. So I've got a list on my Twitter. It's called Scoopers and Poopers. And when their embargo lifts, you're going to see a lot of, I'll put it up on screen. You'll see a lot of them posting their reviews, but there'll be links to their reviews, so I'm sure they'll give little summaries. Leonardo DiCaprio is in negotiations to star in Nightmare Alley with Guillermo del Toro directing. And then Ben Affleck, he's going to star and direct in a film called Ghost Army for Universal. Dulez is asking, hi, what is your take on the current form of the DCEU? It's a mess, but I think it might get better. We'll have to wait and see. Got Joker coming out, got Birds of Prey, got Wonder Woman. These are all films I'm much more excited for over Shazam, which I've had moderate kind of interest in. And it was good. I liked it, but I'm going to watch it again tomorrow for the second time. Yeah, I think it's just the Snyder being invited to Comic-Con. I'm not paying attention to anything until it happens. Or the man himself announces it. Let's bring up you guys on the chat. Let's see. There you go. Just move the camera a bit. Oh, this direction. There. So we'll keep an eye on Rotten Tomatoes, but there's nothing there at the moment. No, Dulles, I'm not watching Endgame. The 1984 Dune I've seen, but I can't remember much of it. I want to rewatch it sometime. DC animated films, I watched the latest Constantine. It was alright. Yeah, John Campia said that the first 2 hours of Avengers Endgame is mediocre. Mediocre. I've heard that there's no post-credit scenes for Endgame, so at least that's good. You know, you're not waiting around like an idiot for post-credit scenes. Crystal is asking, which film are you most looking forward to? Birds of Prey, Joker, or Wonder Woman 2? I'd say Wonder Woman 2. I'm really interested to see what they do with a sequel. No, I'm not picking up the Spider-Verse Steelbook. I usually don't. My Blu-ray collection's kind of made up of older films, like from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. So newer movies, unless new films from the 90s onwards, if they're not part of a collection, you know, like anthologies and sequels and trilogies, special editions, 4K, then I'm not interested. So they have to fit in that kind of category. Jeffrey Lane is asking, who would you pick for the next villain in the Man of Steel sequel? I guess I take it. It's kind of pointless. I don't even want a Superman movie with the way, like the state of Warner Brothers right now and the DC films. I don't want another Superman film right now. Grace Randolph said that Endgame is better than The Dark Knight. Grace Randolph goes where the money is. Come on guys, we've only got 87 people watching, but smash that like button. And it is strange, yeah, I mean, the reviews come out like 2 days before the film releases. That's a bit strange for Marvel. Usually they're confident about, you know, our critics will, you know, a week or two before, well, maybe not 2 weeks, but maybe a week before the film comes out, I would have expected them to have the reviews out. Okay, let's go back to the other screen so you guys can actually see me. Who's this Libra? He says, I called it last year. You said out of your mouth that you wouldn't talk about this film. Shut up, loser. Am I going to see this film? No, I'm not. But can I talk about it? I can talk about it for free, my friend. I can talk about it right here on my own channel. So suck it. Do you think Fiona would resist the temptation of Kevin Feige when he comes to China? I don't know. Lord Feige, he has his ways. So there's no Rotten Tomatoes score at the moment. They'll probably put it up around about 11.05 or something like that. Alright, okay, Comic Book Now is covering the Snyder Cut Movement video campaign on Twitter. Yours is featured on their website. How embarrassing. Well, embarrassing for me, not for the movement. It's all good, but... And I want to be on comicbook.com with all those weirdos in the comments. I'll go over there later. So, what's this? Yo, have you seen Scarlett Johansson's partner? That guy? She's with him? He was the idiot at WrestleMania. I dislike MCU movies. I like Marvel movies from Fox. I like Marvel movies from Sony. I just dislike the MCU, most of the movies. If you look at I was just thinking, right, the MCU, the story that they're telling in these 22 movies or whatever, you only need about 6 or 8 of those movies to tell the story. You don't need 22. Who needs 2 Ant-Man films? Who needs a trilogy of Thor? Who needs a trilogy of Iron Man? A lot of those movies are like a waste. Even like, I like the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk, but that movie's kind of pointless. You don't need it. All you need is that first Avengers film. It's like, oh, here's Bruce Banner, everyone, here's a Hulk. He's hiding in India, and the Shield come and get him. Okay, and then he turns into Hulk later on in the film. There you go. There's your introduction to the Hulk. So now that Ed Norton movie is kind of pointless as well. I was just thinking about that. Yes, Libra Q, I can do better. Is it Libra Q or Libra something symbol? Yes, I'm doing a live stream even though I hate the MCU. Might as well do something. I was going to plan a live stream on something. Might as well do it for this. Alright, it's Libra Omega. You don't deserve that title, my friend. We all know that, Kevin Feige, he stole the ideas from Zack Snyder and Jim Lee and the DC. We all know he did that with his buddy Jeff Johns, that snake. Look at Civil War, right? Look at, what was the other one? Infinity War, and now look at Endgame. And then compare it to what you know about the original Justice League plans. Listen to what Zack Snyder revealed at the Batman v Superman Q&A, and it all makes sense. Kevin Feige, they have no plan. Oh, he mapped it out for all. Like, no, he didn't. He's a fraud. He's an absolute snake oil salesman fraud. Like, if a quality director, right, borrows ideas from another quality director and he gives him credit, then that's fine, that's cool, right? They can say, oh, I'm influenced, I was influenced to make these decisions, or because I watched a film from years ago from another director, or whatever, that's cool. But when you get the Russo brothers, right, who just basically stole what Zack Snyder had planned, or they're just kind of interpreting what they've been given from Marvel Studios by Kevin Feige, because it's the studio who makes the films, and the Russo brothers are just the faces for the media to interview. When you've got these inferior directors stealing from a quality director and not even giving props, unacceptable. Well, Libra, if you stopped watching, garbage websites and garbage YouTube channels, and you look at the evidence, then you would know. It's not a theory. A moron. Yes, the airport scene, oh my god, so bland. It's like watching concrete. Civil dispute at the airport. Those scumbags at Collider, are they getting their reviews out first? Those hacks. No roast videos. Well, go back and watch my Justice League review and you'll find out what I think about it. I love how MCU fanboys, they come in and they're like, oh, so you know Justice League it didn't make as much money, right? Fucking idiots, man. Absolute morons. Like, now they're comparing well, whatever MCU movie comes out, they compare it to like Justice League, which is like one of the biggest train wrecks ever. All because of your boy Joss Whedon. Well, not all of his fault, but Diane Nelson and all these fools. Yes, the Russo brothers, they are the Milli Vanilli of cinema. Pieces of shit. Yeah, I saw Collider Frosties, like, he gave this kind of reaction, and at the end he's like, thank you MCU, or thank you Marvel, some crap like that. These people are not critics, they're not film critics, they are media, access media shills. It's pathetic, it's embarrassing. You know what? I wouldn't put it past Marvel to have now with Stan Lee gone, they probably get Kevin Feige to do cameos in their films. Imagine the cringe. Imagine that. A yoga saint? I would say no. It's not worth watching. End credit scene. Frosty gets wedgies from the entire Endgame cast. I need a new computer. Slow AF. Of course, you guys can always support us at Patreon, and that would help us get some new equipment. So you can see Baby Darkside, you can subscribe, you can donate to Patreon, you can follow us on social media, Twitter, Skyping. No Skyping today, but so it's now 11 PM here in Scotland, and whatever time it is over there, it should now, the reviews should come out. Here's Germaine Lucier, my full non-spoiler review of Avengers Endgame, and I was extra careful to be spoiler free here. Endgame is overwhelming. Oh, he's IO9, so I can't trust what they say. Endgame is overwhelmingly epic and immensely satisfying. Chat to stop working on screen, so let me just go to you guys on the phone. Fighting Irish, I would say I'm a part-time YouTuber. Oh look, IGN are posting their review. I'm not going to watch it though. The reviews are dropping right now, but my computer is taking ages to load. Actually, let me close this down. Let me go to Twitter on my phone, that's faster. The Hollywood Reporter's review of Avengers Endgame. Just when it might seem about to become too grim, RDJ rides to the rescue with an inspired serio-comic performance that reminds you how good he can be. So there you go. There's Hollywood Reporter. What the hell is a serial comic? With an inspired serial comic performance. Yeah, all that nonsense about, you know, the deaths mean the deaths will be final and all this crap. They have nothing to offer you. It's all been, who do you think's going to die in Avengers? Who do you think's going to die in Age of Ultron? Who do you think's going to die in Civil War? Who do you think's going to die in Infinity War? Who do you think's going to die in Endgame? That's their marketing for all these years. That's it. That's all they've got. And when they die, they don't die. They come back. It's a joke of a franchise. I wouldn't have a problem with the MCU existing if they had their place and they got average reviews and they had their fan base, but they had average reviews and they weren't treated as some kind of, you know, second coming of Christ. But because they're like so in your face 24/7, and at the same time the DCEU got destroyed by these people who praise these movies, there's a problem there, right? So, hello Benjamin. Let me just refresh Rotten Tomatoes. There's nothing there. Let's go to Twitter. Hollywood Reporter, they continue. Although there's loads of action and confrontations, what's distinctive here, in contrast to most of the earlier Marvel films, are the moments of doubt, regret and uncertainty, along with the desire of some characters to move on. This is probably in the first hour, and then you get rid of it, and then you just go back to being the usual Avengers. Let me know if you've came across any reviews. So I'm refreshing, but I don't see anything. Like, let's go into the film section. Let's see. It's a bit quiet for some reason. Usually you see all these reviews coming up, but I'm only seeing Hollywood Reporter and IO9 and Variety. Let's see what Variety have to say. Says, I'm just going to read the very last line. Endgame isn't exactly a do-over, but it builds to an infinitely more satisfying conclusion. They're all talking about satisfying. I remember them saying that about Last Jedi. Remember that? Oh, it's a satisfying episode in the Star Wars franchise. Okay, so I'll just Google it rather because bloody. Let's see. So you're saying Slash Film is up, IGN is up, Grace Randolph is up. I'm not going to watch videos. The Guardian say, unconquerable brilliance takes Marvel to new heights. 5 out of 5. Look at this. David Ehrlich of IndieWire, right? He said, what is this? Infinity War, unwatchable space trash, one of the worst movies in the MCU. Endgame, a genuinely touching and cleverly self-reflexive mega spectacle about how it feels to fail the people you love. One of the best movies in the MCU. I don't make the rules. R.I.P. superhero movies. So he's saying that Infinity War was trash, Endgame is great, and that's the end of superhero movies according to this guy. Who else is on here? Eric Davis. So I'm going to go to Metacritic, see if there's anything up there. Eric Davis hasn't said anything. So on Metacritic, after 3 reviews, it's 82 is the score, 82 out of 100. So 3 positive reviews from The Guardian, from Entertainment Weekly. Let's see. Look at this. This is Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian, right? He gave it 100%, or 10 out of 10. No, he gave it a 5 out of 5. That's what the score was. I have to admit, in all its surreal grandiosity, in all its delirious absurdity, there is a huge sugar rush of excitement to this mighty finale. No, what are you doing? Stupid website. I'm going to reload it. Unbelievable. Oh, it's going down to 78 with 12 reviews. So I'll go back to what The Guardian was saying. There is a huge sugar rush of excitement to this mighty finale, finally interchanging with euphoric emotion and allowing us to say poignant farewells. If this was a DC film, they'd be saying, well, in all its surreal grandiosity and delirious absurdity, this is a disaster. Entertainment Weekly. The movie largely delivers, splashing its ambitious 3-hour narrative across a sprawling, well, it's not 3 hours, it's 2 hours and 49 minutes, with 11 minutes of credits. Across a sprawling canvas of characters, eras, and not quite insurmountable challenges. So, the challenge that they face in the movie is not that interesting. That's what she's just said. Screen crush. No matter what comes next from Marvel Studios, this Avengers is a gargantuan love letter to the equally enormous mythology that Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko and the rest of their collaborators built, and to the generations of readers and moviegoers who truly believe in it. The rap, or the crap as I like to call them, Alonso Duralde. Endgame has almost nothing on its mind but crossing the T's and dotting the I's of a far-flung superhero saga. It has all the fleeting satisfaction of a shot of whipped cream delivered directly from the spray can. Chicago Tribune says, it's the time travel conceit that keeps Endgame hopping, and the trial and error sequences recall some of the best parts of the first Iron Man 11 years back. Let's refresh this page. You know what, I'll give it another 10 minutes and then I'll go offline because I've got things to do tomorrow. Tyrone Magnus's review is embarrassing, says Khalil. Yeah, so Endgame is on Metacritic, 78. Nothing on Rotten Tomatoes at the moment. And what is this? So we have a Scottish Aussie Bear. He says, okay, I'm in the theatres in Australia to watch it. The movie starts in 10 minutes. I guess we will find out what it's like soon enough. Spirit of Yusuka says he's looking forward to it. I hope it ain't too filled with Marvel cliches. Well, Aaron Crouch says, he's one of the critics for, I think, Hollywood Reporter. He's like, I was surprised at how funny the film is. Like it's basically copy and paste reviews from the previous films. That's all this is. Why? You're surprised that a Marvel movie is funny? They want to highlight it for the stupid people out there that, oh, this movie is funny, guys. It's okay. Don't be scared. It's funny. Embarrassing, pathetic. So that's, I think we'll leave it there. So we had a little bit of a discussion about, hitting 20k earlier in the stream, and then we went over some reviews of Avengers Endgame. It's just, like I say, copy and paste from the previous Marvel movies. You've seen one, you've seen them all, and this just happens to be 3 hours long. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Click that like button, share, subscribe and all that stuff. But I'm not sure when the next live stream will be. But until next time, I'm Shaker and I will catch you later.